So what are NFTs? NFT stands for non-fungible token, which does not make it easier because now we don't know what non-fungible means and we don't know what token means. So non-fungible means that you cannot replace a token. It's a unique token. It is not interchangeable. And the word token simply refers to a digital certificate stored on a decentralized secure database. In the case of NFTs, a blockchain. And here's where it becomes a little bit more complex. So let me give you two examples to clear things up a bit. Let's first give you an example of something fungible. Money, for example. When it comes to money, one random dollar bill is the same as another random dollar bill. They are both worth $1 because they are interchangeable, because they are fungible. A quick little side note here, in order to be the same value, these two dollar bills do not have to be an exact replica of one another. The condition of one of those two dollar bills might be significantly less than the other, but that would not have an impact on the price. The two dollar bills would still be worth $1. A good example of something non-fungible is art. If you have two Mona Lisas and they are exact replicas of one another and one of them is the original piece and another one is just a fake artwork, then one of them would be worthless and the other one would be worth over $1 billion. And so these two objects are clearly not interchangeable. They are non-fungible. Now you might ask yourself, Dries, does this mean that all art is non-fungible? Well, in theory, traditional art like paintings and sculptures are indeed non-fungible, and art like photography, digital art, art prints, things like that are fungible. But in practical terms, that is not really true. Let's take an artwork you find on the flea market for $10, for example. Now, let's assume that this particular painter that made this painting is not famous, nobody knows anything about him, you cannot find anything of him or anything like that. Now, if there for some reason would be an exact replica of this painting, then that replica would also be worth $10. And so whether or not you have the exact replica or the original work doesn't really matter because both of them are worthless. And so in theory, this artwork is non-fungible because one of them is indeed the original, which gives it somewhat of an extra feel. But in practical terms, in this particular example, it's just a fungible item. Nobody really cares. And so here you already see how subjective all these definitions are. For somebody else who is a real die-hard art lover, this flea market painting that is the original might still be worth a little bit more emotionally because they really love originality. And so for them, this will be non-fungible and they will treat it 100% as a non-fungible painting. In other words, even though NFTs are non-fungible, most of them over time will become worthless and most of them will be treated just like this flea market painting as a fungible item, ironically. Another question you might ask, are all NFTs artworks? No. Art is just one of the categories of NFTs and there are many other categories. I'm thinking about CryptoKitties, real estate, digital collectibles, game items, old-timer cars and things like that. As a matter of fact, all non-fungible items where the value depends on something subjective like brand or originality or something like that could in theory be NFTs. Let me give you some real life applications so you can start to understand how all of this unfolds itself in real life. You could, for example, turn a YouTube video into an NFT and then effectively selling the ownership of that video to somebody, which would be kind of strange on one hand because YouTube videos are freely accessible on YouTube without any cost, and so selling that is strange. But on the other hand, it's also kind of exciting to be able to own a video of your favorite YouTuber and then potentially sell that for a higher price in the future. And this is exactly what Paul Logan did. He turned one of his YouTube videos into an NFT that already fetched $20,000. And so NFTs could potentially become an extra income source for influencers, YouTubers, artists in general. Another cool application is making NFTs of famous moments in sport history. NBA Top Shot is doing exactly that. They are turning famous NBA moments into NFTs, meaning that somebody can buy, own, and sell those famous basketball moments. And so what we are going to see is a completely different type of fandom that will emerge out of these NFTs in the future. Now, in order to really understand what NFTs are, we have to talk about crypto art as a whole and explain how the blockchain works, because the blockchain technology is used to turn NFTs into scarce items. And on top of that, we should be giving you more real-life applications of NFTs, of crypto art, so that you can start to understand the benefits of NFTs and start to understand why everybody suddenly wants to buy NFTs, is interested in NFTs, why these billionaires are suddenly buying NFTs. But that would be another 5 minutes and frankly a completely different video, and so I'm very sorry, but we're not going to do that. Predominantly because I already did. It's called What is Crypto Art? Hope to see you there. Ciao, ciao.